What's up? It's me, certified personal trainer and nutrition coach Austin Winger, and today I have a question for you. Have you ever found yourself stuck at a plateau, just a few pounds away from getting that next PR, or you can't seem to shave off that last couple pounds of fat, or maybe even you're trying to take just a few more seconds off of your mile time? Well, today I'm going to talk to you about a concept called periodization, which can help you reach that next PR, break you out of your plateau, and get you to your next milestone. Today we'll discuss two different types of periodization: linear and non-linear, or undulating periodization. Make sure you listen to the end to get my suggestion on which one might be right for you. Before I tell you about these two different types of periodization, I want to let you know that I am completely independent in funding this channel and these videos, and in choosing the topics that I tell you about. Liking these videos and subscribing is an easy way to support this channel. It also helps me understand what kind of content you value and keep creating it. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications. And as always, thank you. So let's get into linear and undulating periodization. When thinking about linear periodization, I want you to imagine looking at a stock chart, seeing the price go up. You'll see over time there will be a gradual increase as well as some dips along the way, but mostly it'll net in an upward trending manner. That's how you can look at the intensity of training and performance in linear periodization. With undulating periodization, I want you to imagine looking at a line produced by a heart rate monitor. It will have occasional spikes and dips of varying magnitude, and at times it can be programmed to have a consistent wave as well. Let's get started with linear periodization. With linear periodization, you'll break up your training into cycles. These cycles are oftentimes referred to as macro cycles, being the biggest cycle, mesocycles being in the middle, and microcycles being the smallest building block of your macro cycle. Over the course of these cycles, your training will progress in intensity to a peak, then temporarily drop off or taper off, and then eventually build up to another peak of an even higher intensity than the previous peak. Training with linear periodization might look something like this. Your macro cycle represents your year of training. It'll be broken up into 4 mesocycles that are 3 months long. And within those mesocycles will be 3 microcycles that are 1 month long. You can think of those 4 mesocycles as your off season, your preseason, your in season, and your championships. Your championship, or mesocycle number 4, is likely where you'll be doing most of your peak training. Now this is just an example, as your macro, meso, and microcycles can be as long as you want them to be. Now each one of your microcycles is going to have a different focus. So if your mesocycle is 3 microcycles, your first microcycle might focus on hypertrophy, your second on strength, and your third on power. And then that will repeat for your next mesocycle with added intensity. Linear periodization is all about progressing as you go from cycle to cycle, taking an occasional deload, then progressing back up to a higher intensity. One way of progressing is as you increase the intensity or weight lifted in your exercises, you gradually decrease the volume or reps and sets performed. Tapering off the intensity in a deload will help you in several ways. 1, it will reduce the physical and psychological fatigue of the steady progression and increasing intensity of your workouts. 2, it will occasionally allow you to focus more on form and technique at lighter loads. And 3, it will allow you to recover, maintain muscular and neuromuscular gains, and come back stronger for your next cycle. In short, linear periodization will allow you to reap the benefits of training at a higher intensity than you would be able to sustain long term, and deload to avoid burnout, recover, and take on the adaptations from your peak training. Next, let's talk about undulating periodization. With undulating periodization, rather than breaking your training up into cycles, you will train with varying focuses and intensity, either weekly with weekly undulating periodization or daily with daily undulating periodization. Here's an example of a week of training with daily undulating periodization. Monday, hypertrophy focus. Tuesday, endurance. Wednesday, rest. Thursday, strength focus. Friday, power focus. Rest on Saturday, Sunday. Now, will you progress with undulating periodization? If done well, absolutely. As you progress, the amplitude of those peaks and valleys for performance and recovery will increase. Again, think of that heart rate monitor. You may also have maximal power, strength, and endurance days or weeks, which will be followed by a deload day or week. Now for my recommendation. If you are an intermediate, advanced, or even newer lifter who is looking to gain skill in one or more specific lifts or exercises, then linear periodization may be for you. Since the training is cyclical, you will have plenty of opportunities to train the specific exercises and lifts that you want to gain skill in at varying volumes and intensities. It can also be an effective way of training for people that have more specific body composition or performance goals, and also for athletes who primarily express one training attribute for their sport, like strength for powerlifters or explosivity for broad jumpers. If your goal is to build your overall fitness and physical readiness, then undulating periodization may be for you. Training this way can prevent plateauing by continuously varying the demands on your body. It can be well suited for people who are intermediate and advanced in their fitness who have a large base of exercises they're competent in, and also for people newer in their fitness who enjoy a lot of novelty in their training. And undulating periodization can be an effective way of training for athletes who have an event coming up who don't have time to go through a long macro cycle, and for athletes that express strength, endurance, and power in their sport, either interchangeably or simultaneously, like CrossFitters or even football players. Ultimately, a great training program can have elements of both, and whatever way you choose to train, just make sure it supports your goals. And for those looking for a place to base their training program, you can combine everything that we learned today about periodization with the essential split training guide that at the time of this video is still offered absolutely free of cost. I'll post the link for access in the description. Thanks so much for watching. New videos will be posted here on this channel every single week, so make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks again, and happy lifting.